Good morning to everybody. It is always a pleasure when I try to take the webinar, and it is extra pleasure when I'm taking a new topic by itself. So, most of the topics are somehow linked to 5 or 8 different topics, but this topic came to my mind because I met and I saw there is so much of anxiety, so much of uncertain things in a people's mind, and it's creating an issue. So the reason I took this session was last month I was in a US for my brother's son's graduation. So I was spending time. Of course, a lot of our family, friends, and our colleagues, they all were in US. Now they are been now more than 30 years in the US, and they are citizen or whatever. I've been speaking even Indian citizen and the American citizen also. I realized when I was speaking them, of course, they are going through a tough time. It's almost like a recession going, the job losses are happening. So that made me to think that it is a similar thing when I'm talking here, few people was facing. So that was the actual time I told Sanjay I wanted to take this session. The reason for this session is because when I'm doing a counseling, you will surprised to know when I am doing a counseling, 60 to 80% of the people have the financial issue, and that's why it can be a personal level counseling or relationship counseling, or they are facing anxiety because of their profession, or maybe with the bosses or whatever, was related to the finance. And that's the one step forward for me to do this. I'm trying to do here more of the people whom I have meeting. I have been doing not much bigger things, maybe around 5 to 7 people whom I'm trying to at least little bit coach on a financial stress side. At the time I met people there, and I was thinking how if why I and other people whom I know they are not in a stress when these things comes, how they can also be able to take care of it. Then because it is impacting their physical, because of mental stress, it is impacting their physical body and the stress level and the whatever, it's a negativity and other things going. So I'm just trying to do this with a lot of people who have told me what I have read it and what I'm doing as of today as a counseling without taking names, how we can make sure when we are in uncertain time, how we can make sure that we are able to take care in future. One, and second thing is, if let us not reinvent the wheel if somebody has already gone through, so let us learn from them and try to implement. So when I was going through and I asked, so I must have spoken maybe around 15 or 20 people there, and 5 people whom I'm coaching, kind of it. So the reason they were facing a financial stress is because, example, one person came to me and quite, I'm not saying quite old, but similar age of 20, 30 years experience, and told Rachna, I have gone to India and to attend my parents' 60th birthday, Vegas thing. But when I was about to leave, I got the message from them that your job is no more. So if you want, you can stay in India itself. And he says, now I'm facing an issue. I don't know what to do because my full family is there and I don't have much of assets, and I am not getting a job. And I tried more than 3 months. So this is very clear. Then I was just asking him, do you have a contingency money? Normally people keep for 3 to 6 months. He says no. Then he says, no, but more than a contingency money, I have a lot of debt, which is much, much more higher, and I am facing an issue because I cannot pay the EMI. And that made me to think. Then I said, why you took so much of debt? Then he says, no, it was an housing debt, then interest went up, then I have the car, then I, so he gave me the reason for many debts. So that was the first pointer for me is people have very high level of stress when they are losing the job or they have a very high debts. That's the two things came into my mind when I was speaking many people. The second thing is, as I have gone to the graduation for my review, so I was talking to a lot of youngsters because they have getting the first job. So as usual, like a wealth manager, I can say that Even the same thing I tell to my daughter. So I was telling them also, okay, the first thing is from the first job, you try to make sure that you at least invest 20%. And then they are saying, okay, let us make the budget. So I was helping them to make the budgets. And I realized that their budget is much, much more than what you're going to earn. They've not even seen that how much taxation will go or what is 401 will go or whatever it is in hand salary. First of all, they have not done that part of it, but their expenses are much more than an income. That is another thing which I felt it all youngsters who are going to do first job, because I was in a I can say graduation time, or they were just going for the first job, or they have done 1 month or 2 months kind of it. So that is another level of stress which I felt people are going through. Even I felt always that youngsters are much smarter. So I said, why don't you do online job or skill or something? Then they says, no, the peer pressure is becoming much more. So that is the another thing which I felt the people who are not got the job because they are in the similar, I can say classmates or the colleagues or kind of a friends, that peer pressure was giving it so much. So they are not able to do, even the person is masters, but he's just sitting at home and he's not eating, not doing any work because this job is sort of what is not what I have studied for. So I said, till you get that, you try to do it. So he is actually increasing his debt so high. And that is a third point which I'm trying to say. Because not having a job, losing of job is creating a lot of things of insecurity and debt high. And that is creating internally mental stress. And all of them, you will surprise, when they were showing me their credit card bills and all, their means having a, we can say counselor or a mentor or whatever word we use, psychologist, their number of hours going with them is so high. Then I said, why you are going so many times? He says, no, I'm very stressful. So I wanted somebody to speak with. I said, okay, that's how we can think how to reduce the stress and at least reduce that consulting money. So these are the things what I have learned in last 1 month. And that was the only reason. I am not sure I'll be able to do justice or not do justice. But I thought even one or two people I'll be able to make sure they don't come into this and learn from others will be happy for my going for an awareness. I tried my best to there also. I sat with them. I sat with their credit card bills. I sat with how to take care of in hand, do the budgeting. But it's always there. You can show the direction, but somebody has to walk. So same thing I'm trying to do today. I'm just trying to show the direction. Happy if you want some steps for me to go forward and help you on budgeting or any other things. But yes, we should follow, and that's where this session is going to be. So, what were the main things coming out from these people whom I met? They all didn't have a contingency fund. Actually, there is no concept when I spoke with those people, a contingency fund. I'm not saying all US people are like that, but whom I met, I mean, they didn't have a contingency fund. And I said, I thought you all know very well that you can be fired in one day. Why the hell you didn't have a contingency fund? They said, no, it is okay because we can work with credit card. So there is option, and the thought is that credit card can work anytime, and you are not realizing that you need to pay the credit card or you have a lot of interest to pay across. So one thing I want all of you to do, the concept wise, is whatever is your monthly expense, let us say I'm spending around 1 lakh, you should make sure 3 to 6 lakhs money should be in your emergency or contingency fund. What do you mean by emergency and contingency fund means? In case if you require, you'll be able to manage 6 months expenses at not linked to market or something. You can easily available. So normally I said people you should put it in FDs or a debt liquid funds. That are the things we should do it without fail. Then this is a recent one. Last 3 4 days of maybe a week's time, I've been struggling. I have a friend, our son's classmates' mother started writing in a group that we have a colleague which is just 23 years old. and their mother is gone to the brain stroke and they are not well to do. The cost is 25 lakhs. And she is going through a very tough time mentally, physically, and of course, financially also. And being a so young, company has given only 3 lakhs of medical cover, so they didn't have a medical cover. So the life cover and a medical cover is the two things which you all have to do it. So I'm just trying to do interchange both the things, which is the next one is a health cover is, of course, they are trying to do the pool of funds, like how you say go funding and other things to do. We are trying to do that internally, family, friends, and all, how much we can pull them out, trying to do from the hospital level. But the stress level, I can imagine that she's going through, and of course, we all are praying that hopefully she recovers because so much of time, money, energy, everybody is trying the best to make sure to get 25 lakhs. But sometimes I have seen, I normally go a lot more, I can say, induction and the corporate webinars. When I ask anybody, do you keep a health cover? 90% of the people tell me, no, I have only corporate cover. And this is becoming a very big norm. And I always tell that at least for a life cover and a health cover, take apart from a corporate cover because corporate cannot give you 10, 15 lakhs cover. Nowadays, 10 and 15 lakhs cover with a top up is much, much cheaper. So if you see a car, I drive I-10 and my husband drive Alcazar and Kazar, I think so the car insurance comes around 54,000 and mine comes around 8,000. And I said it is a monetary. The car value is 10 lakhs. I'm paying 8,000 rupees the car insurance. But we are priceless. We are not even putting that amount for us. So why don't we start putting that amount and give our own value? Because we love our near and dear ones. I have gone through this last 1 year quite a lot because I lost both the parents. And I can tell you, of course, the person who is a patient is really going through, but family around them also goes through quite a lot because you don't want your near and dear one to feel suffering, you are helpless or something when is a question. So, most of the time, for your near and dear ones, please make sure that you have a good health cover. Health cover has come nowadays very good. You can take a base of 10 lakhs and take a top up of 40 or 90, which is very, very, I can say minuscule. Like, it's like I can say one pizza for your per month, what you're spending, you can have it that much monthly for your health insurance kind of it. Please do that. That is the another level which I have been seeing the people having the thing. This is the third part. These sections I have put because I have met a lot of people, and these people are one by one. I'm giving you the live examples on those, which is I said most of the people whom I met, and especially I can see the youngster I was meeting this time, youngster between 23 to 30 years, kind of it, who is just joined or have a 3 5 years experience. There I was very surprised, and I don't know how the shift has happened. Is it thanks to, I can say, the global that Netflix, social media, and other things, or the values are becoming different, at least in India? Because in India, we normally says how we can save, how we can invest, how we can reduce our expenses. What I can see, my mother, I remember that even if I buy a slipper more than 4 5,000 rupees, she will scold me, even whatever you're earning. So I'm saying that was a mindset now, and but the things has changed so much. This is no. I have seen a lot of time all the young kids, their vacation, their hiking, their biking, they're spending 10 to 11 lakhs. They're not even earning. Same thing I have seen when I've gone there. The people are not even bothered about your, I can say, expense. So please try to reduce expense. And I always tell everybody because I do, and I have somehow taught my both the kids to do. The easiest way to reduce expense is to write expense. If you are writing expense, I can bet you without fail you will not go above expense of your income because that is a very, very red line to yourself. And the good news is nowadays there are so many expense apps are there. So you write it, they will say you in which item you're spending more. You're spending more on a food or a travel or a movie or a vacation or wherever it is, housing or hotels or whatever. That will give you how you can think, how you can reduce, and how you can be in the budget. So please, this is the third part which I have seen people having stresses where their expenses are much, much more than what is their income. So this is the part which I am trying to drive people always, that saving is good. So a lot of people says you don't know, this is only one life. There's a lot of philosophies are there. I'm not saying who is right and who is wrong. I normally believe what I do and what I say to my people whom I know, family members and others. That's what I'm trying to tell here. So I always says it is good to have an experience. Experience is also an investment. There is no doubt about it. But we should be very clear on what level you are doing. You cannot have an having a so good vacation, which is I'm spending 25 lakhs, but it is impacting my lifelong pension or alternative income. So we have to be very, very clear. If I keep saying people that I'm okay to die tomorrow, but if I live for 30 more years, I should be able to live the same lifestyle. You cannot say that, ki, okay, we have not seen the world tomorrow, we are alive or dead, so I will spend everything today. So you have to be ready for, that's why we always say the insurance is always for too short to too long. If you are not able to live so long life, how you're managing your family, or if you are living so long till 80, 90 years, how you're able to manage yourself. The same concept goes for the savings. First, you save it. It is in case if you are living long, you have to manage yourself. You can't expect your, I can say those days are gone where we will say, okay, our kids will take care. They have their own family, their own life. They may not be staying where you are staying, or you may not want to stay with them. So, how to make sure that you feel safe? So, most of us, when I meet, I can say 98% of the people, I can say you, people say whatever leftover money, only they invest. But the reality is, which is the thing I have taught, and I've been trying to teach awareness program through these also. First, try to invest at least 20 to 25%, and then spend whatever left. I'm saying you spend. If you don't spend, even economy will not work. We have to spend, but make sure you are saving first. Very, very important part of it before we start thinking. Yesterday, I met another new customer and she says, I wanted to invest. Can I get the app where I can execute? I said, yes, we do have an app where you can execute, but we normally don't give an execution. We give only view access. She said, why? Then I said, you will surprise to know when we have started giving previously long back, people just wanted to buy some small thing and they don't have money, they will just redeem, withdraw the money from there. They don't realize it is good time, bad time, it is a good fund, not good fund, or it's a long term tax or short term tax. They just think even the smallest thing is an emergency for them and they invest, take it out. So most of the time, we have to realize we should have the saving and investment linked to our goals, and that's where it is. Manage your investment, very important. One is you save, saving is good, but saving without any returns is no value. So you invest. And when you are investing, you should be able to take care how you take care of planning, control, your goals, everything else to be managed. But so when I started looking all this part of it, I started realizing what are the anxieties. So of course, nobody can forget 3 days old the market, the date of the result, the market has fallen down 6%. And that was quite a lot of fear of people's market. And most of the times, a lot of customers, even before and after, were the saying, so I said, don't worry, in a PMS, we will take care because of cash and everything. But if you have it in the short term, but I told them, see, we are not a trader. So I'm not telling that, okay, you do one day and not to do one day, but it is good to take a market volatility. But if you're giving me money, you have to look for the long term. So I was very clear on each and every executions that it's good to invest, but you're thinking for long term. And coincidentally, today, I normally don't follow so much market. Today, just before the webinar, I said, okay, let me see the market. And we are above the what we were on the one day before the election counting. So sometimes it is simple anxiety. And in our walking group, they were saying, "Ki this has happened, it will fall." And I said, why you are predicting so much and all this stuff? Anyway, in your prediction is market is not going to work. Market works only on buy and sell, the number of people buy and sell. So this is another point I was having yesterday night, a customer from Dubai, and he asked me that I do the direct myself, why I should go with an advisor. I said, if that is your passion, you don't need an advisor because you pay 1%, you can save that 1%. But I can tell you the advisor is required only not for the finding the funds or something. Actually, advisor is required to manage your fear and greed. Nobody required anything else. Of course, we will manage, we will know better than you because it's a full-time work for us. But managing your fear and greed on the right time is more important. So I know even in COVID time, I know 3 days back how much people have done the panic and they have an anxiety level. And I was trying to tell them, you won't believe I have written to so many customers, don't worry, within a month we are above that. And coincidentally, we are within a 4 days, we are above that. So the anxiety of too much of looking in the market, and I keep asking this question to myself and others. Is it my goal is 2 days later? Is it I'm retiring 2 days later? Even my kids are going. Is it I'm going for vacation? What I've done? Then why worry? You don't have to have a market level anxiety at all because you are investing for long term. Lot of time a customer comes when I have a, for not my customers, even RH customers, I take the things. Ki this person didn't invest here, this person didn't invest, this person. And I says when you have given, you should have a trust and leave. You will surprised to know when we do research in our customers thing, the customers who are more passive have the highest returns. The customer who poke the nose most have the least returns. Because sometimes we will tell to the customer, even I tell that this is not the right. They said, no, no, we should do. And I write with a disclaimer. I am doing because you are saying, but I don't agree. And where they most of the time they will go wrong because that's a market research versus what they, I can say, emotional call they have it. 2 days back, I have another customers coming back to me. One of our fund was given 104% return in, I think so, 2021. And I still remember I told don't invest in that. If somebody is given 104%, it means that next 3 years it may not give because it is a cyclic. He says, no, no, it's your fund, you are not selling and all. I said, okay, you want, you take it. Yesterday he is telling me that fund is not performing. And I said that fund is very clear. It works in a cycle. And that year, 104% somebody has returned returns. How you can expect the next 3 years he will give the returns? Because what I have seen in a psychological emotional people is a residency bias. The bias is they just see the recent. I can have a hajar example on this where people take emotions and the residency of recent investments on the link. The performance or any PMS has given 1 year so high, I'll go there. And within 3 years, they'll say, because it's a market returns, if somebody has given 100% or 80% returns, 200 times I can tell you will not give it the returns on the next 2 years because he's already done it. So these are the volatility in a market. We have to look in a long term that will be able to take care of it. Second, but not the, I can say, popular, but now it is becoming popular because of thanks to social media, WhatsApp, and other things. So somebody says me, how come you are very able to manage very well? I said the reason is I sort my work very clearly. For example, I never see my mobile or social media or WhatsApp or anything. Half an hour before in the night and half an hour before, I don't touch my mobile. I don't see TV. I don't see the market anyway. Of course, I don't follow the market. Because what is required, I have to require for my customers to make sure their portfolios are right, they are diversified, their asset allocation, taking their goals. My seeing or not seeing from a market is not going to affect me. My seeing or not seeing on a social media, to surprise you, actually, I've gone for US visa, and the only question the US visa consulate asked me was, "You don't have any personal data on social media?" And I said, "No, I don't keep. Other than right horizon data, I don't keep." Why I should bother to put it in social media whom I don't know? Why I should bother? So whoever knows me, they will know me. So I'm saying information overload in a youngsters is becoming a very big anxiety. I can see with my kids, I have written, Mama, she's read it the my text but not replied. I said, okay. Know how somebody can read it not replied. That anxiety has gone very high nowadays, and same thing is happening. A lot of time my friend has taken these funds, people comes to me and they refer and I feel happy. I said, your reference, I first thing when reference comes, I tell them it's nice you have referred, but don't compare your portfolio with them, because your goals, your income and expense are different than somebody else. So these are the things, a lot of time people are having an anxiety. So don't ever compare. Don't ever see that some data has come, it is right or wrong. Whoever is giving data is in their perspective. It's not in your perspective. So you take what is in your perspective. Fear and loss, I have already told, already very, very common. Everything I can say you, and I strongly believe, I strongly teach two things which help me always, and thanks to my parents every time I say that, are discipline and long term thinking. If somebody is disciplined of investing a long term, I can bet you will never face any issue irrespective of whatever you're earning. So you're earning 5,000 or 50 lakhs or 50 crore, it's the same value. So make sure that you look long term. You are taking care of monthly your 20% to 25%, you will never come into these part of it. So because of these anxiety, as I told you, the good thing is I'm learning a lot of things from the youngsters. Our daughter itself, and that too I can tell you because I was talking to the US citizens, not Indian US citizen, US American citizens. So incidentally, this time, thanks to my daughter, I am been speaking with a lot of people who are Malay, Chinese, because she's in Singapore. So psychological, emotional are the same. It doesn't matter which part of the world you are in. So this is the three things which is creating a lot of impact because of the anxiety. They're not able to decide. The decision is becoming very difficult for them. If I take this choice, what will happen? Because I have a one person who has told me I will invest Rachna, and within a 2 days he said no, I will not invest. I'll do an FD. Then I asked, what is the reason for that? He says, Rachna, you didn't see that the mail has come, or of course the um, what you call newspaper has declared and everything, and Google has informed that they are doing sacking. I said, yeah, Google is doing in the US sacking, they have written, but you are in India and not in the Google also. What is the issue? He says, no, if Google has told, then all other cascading people will say, then we don't know, my company also will say. And then I may be in the one of the list. I said, okay, maybe then why don't you do it in a debt funds and keep it as a emergency and contingency fund? No, I wanted to keep for 3 years contingency. And because of somebody else, a decision, what they do. So sometimes I always feel investment is actually the emotion part of it. People will say it's somebody look this logical. I never feel this logical, it's emotional. And I never try to take somebody's emotion and I kept it in a debt fund. But I'm trying to say it's very difficult for people to take decisions. Same thing happens on when they are become too emotional also. So my learning is always is my our first car. So I was so emotional. This first car have so many memories. We got our first baby, we got the first house, we got this. So we had that car. I don't want it to sell. And then this is because you're so emotional, the car value is not even going to give it even peanut. Then I said, okay, we have to do. So that's another thing I have seen. Lot many people will start taking an emotional call than actual call on the decision level. So we should always try to see that don't take a emotional when you are doing an investment, that you should keep it aside. So the difference between, I'll give you another example is if somebody is managing their own portfolio. I met it in the last month, one of the webinar, and he says, I wanted an advisor. And I said, no, your portfolio is good. Why you wanted to give so much of fees also? You keep in managing. So he's saying, no, Rachna, I wanted to become your thing. So I said, tell me the one reason. He said, the reason is My one emotional call has I lost 28 lakhs something, some bigger amount. I said, what happened? They said that I wanted to sell and I felt okay, it is gone little down, so I will wait some more time and some more time. And it went so low that when the time I sold it, it was almost 28 lakhs, whatever difference it was. So that is another thing I have noticed. When you are managing your own portfolio, you don't want it to go in the loss. I understand. But if we knew as a portfolio manager or the wealth manager, this fund is not doing good, we cut loss and though go into the next. Because we don't do emotions on that. We are looking as a logical, this fund is not good, cut loss and go. But when it is your own personal one, you don't try to cut loss. You think it may come and it's always a hope. Even for us also, it will be always a hope, but we are not putting an emotions part. This I have started with because of this lot of time I am counseling as a couple, I'm counseling as a teenager, I'm counseling as a freshers. Many people, the financial stress is becoming the biggest conflict, at least on mine, 80% or 90% people are facing this was because of financial issues. So what we need to mitigate, that's another part of this which we trying to do it. And I felt it. That's what I'm trying to do today is try to have a financial part of literacy. Understand concept never goes wrong. So many people, of course, SEBI is trying their best to block a lot of influencer and you won't believe it. I have never seen any influencer as of today, any of those videos or anything. And I don't know, they may be doing amazingly well, I know, but a lot of time people says that's not, is it they're true or not? I said I don't know. I know the concept. If you tell me, I will teach you, but rest I don't know what they're telling is true or not. And neither I have a business for doing a YouTuber or influencer, so I don't want that. Neither I take, because my always thought is, that's what I've learned, that knowledge should be given, then you increase your knowledge. And today was a typical case. I can tell you this session, apart from what I met, felt, and I did it, I tried to read quite a lot of research paper on this to make this presentation. So I learned a lot many things more than anything else. Make sure outflow should not be greater than inflow. Never. So these are mistake you should not do it. So indirectly, your inflow should be higher, 20% to 25% save, and then it should be the outflow. Have a contingency fund, at least 6 months money in your FDs or your debt liquid fund. Do the diversification without fail. If I have time, I will try to do a little bit one slides on a diversifications. Debt management, very, very, very important. Please, I can tell you, I have never missed one single time. Of course, I don't use much credit card, but I normally use only for petrol filling and make sure that I have always paid on the same. So that is also in my for my ECS. So it doesn't need to bother about much. So most of the time when I meet a lot of youngsters, they says, I have 5 credit cards, 6 credit cards. This credit card will pay from this rolling. And it is like a 99, it keep rolling and you always have a debt. And I can tell you the people who have a debt more, they are not able to sleep more because they keep thinking about this. So the best way for healing your body and yourself is have a sound sleep. So please manage your debt. I takes normally a session which is how to manage debt. Like the people who are not getting that tax benefit, you don't do it. Don't do the things which is giving you higher interest. Repay those first. So these are the things you have to manage when you are doing the debt management. Never have a EMI greater than 40% of your take home. Otherwise, you will have a lot of issues in decision making. Try not to have that. Risk and insurance cover, as I told you, life and term health cover. Please have good cover. There is nothing called, I can say, thumb rule. Everybody have a different thumb rule. When you're taking a term cover, when you're young, the same cover goes till same premium goes. Try to take it higher. Normally, I can say you all the goals minus your liability, you should do that part of it. Good thing is you take minimum 2 crores without fail. If you want, is easier, it better. And for insurance, take at least 10 lakhs plus. These things, if you are taking care, I'm sure all the uncertain time you will be very peaceful. You will not have issue even what can be. It can be the market issues or a health issue or it is a job issue. You will always will be the peace of mind. These are the things which I always says. These are the I can say cartoon given by Motilal, and I love those. So that's the reason I have added here. So most of the time, it's better to have a hen tomorrow than egg today. So that's another thing. When you sell in desperation, you always sell cheap. So don't do distress sell kind of it. The another part is in reality, patience is a crucial and it is a very rare investment. So this example I give to everybody that Rakesh Jhanjhanwala's portfolio was open portfolio for across, but nobody has that much of money than him. Most of the people. Why? Because nobody holds that stock for 21 years or 28 years. People just keep rotating and selling. So we should have a patience to keep that long. So you can take a Warren Buffett, an example of whoever. They stayed long. That's where the power of compounding, and that's where they got it. It's never your thinking makes you big money. It's a sitting. So you always try to say sit tight. That's what they keep saying. It's okay to have. So I was going through another analogy of saying that when you have a money tree going across, you have to remove the weeds. That's okay, but you have to make sure you manure the water plus every times you have to continue till start fruits start coming, and then when fruits start coming it comes every year, but you have to give a time for 10 years, 12 years to give that part. A stock will move above or below the business value depending on the emotion than economics. 200% I can tell you this is what it is. So if you think that somebody market is going down, so and if you are buying means somebody is selling at that time. So it's not that market is, it is simple as net is zero. Market is always net zero because somebody is selling at lower or a loss, and that's why you're going at as higher. So these are the things you have to make sure that you are uh, trying to look what is okay to have an opportunity. There's no doubt about it. Even we took that when market is low, but look at always a long term and make sure that part of compounding comes. You keep having a discipline of investing that makes a lot of easy. All this is the another things when the market is good. So I can tell you हजार things. I have told so many customer that I will not take you, and then they come back because after some time they realize that okay that is not. So I always says in the market is up all our managers. So I said actually we get the highest customer acquisition only when market is down. I keep telling people that you are the fund manager, I am not a fund manager. When the market is down, that's the only time you will come back to us. So you have to start thinking of what you are looking for. When you're looking short term back, even a performance or anything, you may go in the wrong decisions. So I'll just being in a cricket time, I'll just say how to do and then I'll take a question answer.
In a multilingual country like India, cricket is a common language 1.3 billion people speak. But do you know, this most revered sport in India has many similarities with investments. Let us have a look. Can you imagine a team of only batsmen? Never, right? We need a perfect blend of batsmen, bowlers and fielders to win the match. Similarly, to succeed in the game of investment, diversification is the only winning strategy. Just like a balanced team, we need a balanced portfolio to give us better returns. We can't hit the boundary on every delivery. Singles are just as important as boundaries. Similarly, we should invest in debt and equity. Equity provides us high returns when the market is good, and debt provides us consistent returns when the market is tight. Interesting, isn't it? Based on time, there are 3 different formats of cricket, and we select players based on their track record for each format. Similarly, we have different investment horizons. Whether short or long term, we must select funds according to our goals only. Lastly, just like a captain is necessary to lead the team, similarly, we should have a professional to lead and guide us throughout the game to ensure the suitability of products we buy.
So what are the 10 rules always will make sure that any portfolio what you have is a, I can say, recession proof, or you can say taking care of uncertain thing. is follow the budget, right income and expense, avoid overspending, save and invest, diversify your investment. I have taken actually diversification slides, but I don't have a time. So, with the next session, if you have, you can try to do. Debt management, very important. Have a good insurance, health cover, and the term cover. Plan for your retirements or alternative income. There's a distinction between an asset and liability, and without fail, educate yourself. With this, I just wind it up. This is the one of the research report I was going through, and that's where it says how happy you will feel more satisfying in a personal finance achievement. And that's a good slide, so I put it across. Having a stable income, leading a comfortable lifestyles are different. So I can tell you people who have 100 crore, they still spend 1 lakh. So I keep saying it's not necessary your portfolio is more than you may eat gold over. So it depends on how you feel very comfortable and stable income. Your you are not having a debts, mortgage free, successfully pay your debts, having an emergency fund, see the portfolio grow, improve and maintain the healthy life, and work without any fear is the things which you make most satisfying. With this, I wind it up and I have the any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing the valuable insights. I think we have a question in the Q&A section. Meantime, I would like to request all the participants to write down your queries and question in the Q&A section. We'll be taking it one by one.
So I can see one question of Mohammed. It says that one of the advisors suggested me Evergreen suggest sector FMCG, and what is your opinion? So I am sorry to say you, Mohammed. Actually, I don't know about the market. Okay. Sanjay, can you put them into the research team? And they will be happy to answer, Mohammed, because I always say that's their job, so they do it. And they just tell us that what we should do it. So I'm not the person who does the research. We do have a research team and analyst team. They'll be happy to answer. How to manage 80 lakhs for a constant income for 30,000 in a wealth creation? It's very easy. Sayantan, how you pronounce it? Sayantan. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but easier way is it's called 6% rule for the monthly wealth creation and the pension. Of course, you may get additional money, but easiest way is rule called 6%. So 80 lakhs into 6% divided by 12, you will get a monthly, which will create your wealth creation also, and you will get this much of money, and you can immediately start getting it. That's the best part. So we do have a alliance fund which we do it. But when you take care of a pension, normally pension is not inflation linked. But when I'm talking about 6% is always an inflation link. That's another way of doing it. Um, is it any other questions we have? That's all from my side. There is any other question, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, wishing you have a great weekend and enjoy.